Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it's wonderful to see you take your place in the chair. And a pleasure to follow the Honourable Member for Southend West and Lee, who spoke passionately about his constituency and also about embracing all that we have in common rather than divides us. Also very interesting to hear that you live in the 7th sunniest place. I look forward to coming back to that later in my speech. And it's an honour to address the Chamber as the newly elected Member of Parliament for the beautiful Chichester constituency. The constituency has undergone some boundary changes in this general election, and so I would like to start by thanking the two predecessors who represented the residents that I now serve. Firstly, Gillian Keegan was the MP for Chichester since 2017 and was the first female MP to represent the constituency. She served as Secretary of State for Education and proudly championed apprenticeships and the opportunity that her own apprenticeship afforded her after growing up in Knowlesley in Liverpool and leaving school at 16. She was well liked by the Conservative Party and across the House, and although our politics are different, I wish her well in her future endeavours. I would also like to pay tribute to Nick Gibb, the member for Bognor Regis and Littlehampton from 1997. Both Bursted and Pagham residents mentioned to me on the doorsteps during the last few months that he was a popular MP that had served his constituents well, which no doubt added to their frustration when they realised they were moving to be part of the Chichester constituency when their hearts belonged with Bognor Regis. So I'd like to take this opportunity to reassure those residents that my love for the area that I've grown up in knows no bounds, and from Bursted to Bosham, Selsey to Southbourne, Westbourne to the Witterings, Fishbourne to Funtington, and all the other areas that didn't fit within my poor attempt at alliteration, I will champion you all. Madam Deputy Speaker, today is the final day in the Chamber before recess, and although I have no doubt that MPs will be rushing back to their own constituencies to spend every possible moment there, if they do manage to steal away for a long weekend, then I relish the opportunity to be a tour guide for a brief moment and tell you why a weekend in Chichester is a weekend well spent. Although my honourable friend, the member for Eastbourne, has already laid claim to the glory of having the sunniest town in the UK, Chichester boasts the high accolade of being the sunniest city, with just under 2,000 hours of sunshine a year. This is not the only way that this glorious city punches above its weight. You certainly won't be short of things to do, with beautiful coastline, sailing opportunities at Bosham, Delkey, Itchnor and Birdham, and the sandy beach of West Wittering, as well as a plethora of cultural offerings, from the internationally renowned regional theatre, Chichester Festival Theatre, the Pallant House and Oxmarket Galleries, the Novium Museum and Fishbourne Roman Palace, and even a spot of racing, both cars and horses, at the Goodwood Racecourse. An afternoon can be easily spent soaking up the history of the city surrounded in Roman walls, or surrounded in nature at Pagham Harbour, Medmery Reserve, or following the River Lavant, a precious chalk stream. I would also not be forgiven, especially by the head of department, if I didn't mention the excellent University of Chichester that I had the pleasure of obtaining my degree from. We're also the birthplace of notable figures such as the astronaut Tim Peake and the singer-songwriter Tom Odell, and we're home to Kate Winslet and authors Greg and Kate Moss. You can understand, Madam Deputy Speaker, why my very special constituency is a desirable location for those looking to relocate to an area with so much to offer. But with the majority of the district sitting within the South Downs National Park, 100% of the housing allocation is built in only 20% of the land, with a lack of infrastructure surrounding these developments, with residents reporting a real struggle to get a doctor's appointment, sign up with an NHS dentist, find school places for their children that can meet their needs, or simply travel from A to B through the traffic on the A27. As a low-lying coastal plain, many communities are also subjected to relentless flooding after developments on floodplains and a lack of maintenance on the Rife. I am sure those in the Chamber will also appreciate how important the water quality is to so many industries in my constituency. These include tourism, fishing, water sports and sailing. Therefore, it pains me to say that some of the most active storm overflows are in my constituency. And Chichester Harbour, which is a site of special scientific interest, has been downgraded to an unfavourable declining condition. The River Lavant has warning signs along the bed, encouraging residents and visitors to wash their hands if they come into contact with our water. And those that enjoy swimming in our water are weighing up the health benefits of cold water swimming against how regularly they become ill from doing so. Trust in our water companies and the water regulator is at an all-time low, and the Liberal Democrats have called for measures to address the issue that is a blight on constituencies like mine. The average house price in Chichester, Madam Deputy Speaker, is an eye-watering £455,000. And residents regularly express dismay at their increasing rents and mortgages after the disastrous mini-budget, trying to make progress in their lives and being pulled back under the immense strain of increasing cost pressures. I welcome the bill today that commits to responsible economic governance to go towards ensuring that what we saw in the last Parliament never happens again. Finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like to pay tribute to those that supported me to be here, standing in the chamber, addressing my colleagues. I'd like to thank my wonderful husband, Dean, my son, Oliver, and my daughter, Bethany, for their understanding and support, which has spanned far longer than this campaign. They are my inspiration, and I'm fighting for their future, as well as every child's future in this country. I'd also like to thank my mum. I'm not going to look at her. I just realised I can't look at her. Who joins us in the gallery, who had been so looking forward to retiring in May this year, only to be thrust days later into a general election campaign, knocking on doors with me, delivering leaflets and being my childcare. Fully behind me, trying to achieve the unachievable. Because Chichester has had a Conservative MP since 1868, except for a brief spell in 1923 when it flirted with liberalism for just 12 months. On July the 4th, residents went to the polling stations and voted for change, whether they were traditional Conservative voters or whether they were Labour and Green voters lending me their support. We made political history that night. I recognise the weight of responsibility on my shoulders to do every single one of those people proud and represent the area that I have had the pleasure of growing up in. It is a privilege and an honour, and I will fight for my special patch of our country every day.